In the last session, we defined functions in Python. Luckily, most functions we'll use are already written for us and defined in external packages. So we only need to import them to use them. So in this session, we're going to go over how to use functions written by other people, basically, and import packages and then use them. And in the next session, we'll start the meat of the course, which is going to use Python and these add-on packages, add-on functions that other people have written to solve financial tasks. So first and foremost, I'm going to go over two ways to import functions. The first way we can do it, and the only reason I'm doing this is because you'll see other people write code in both of these ways. When you're getting started in Python, it doesn't really matter which you use. You just be comfortable, just have a general idea of what people are doing. We want to not delve into the minutia of every point of Python, but you will see the two methods. So first, what a package is. A package may have a lot of different modules. A module is just going to be a particular file, that may be within a package. So when we talk about this NumPy package, it has a particular module called random. So if I just want to import the random module from NumPy, I can import it like that from NumPy, import random, and then I can use random, rand, this will be a normal, this will create a random random variables from a standard normal distribution, and this will create a 3x3 array. So I can run that here and get a 3x3 array. I run it each time, I'm going to get different numbers, right? Because again, they're random. So that's fine. However, we can also import all the functionality of NumPy and pandas by simply saying import NumPy as NP, import pandas as PD, right? So I can do that, and then I can refer to this sinh, cinch. This is pronounced cinch. I can calculate the cinch of 3, saying NP for NumPy, and then cinch 3, and there we go. The idea here, the idea of random, randan, and NP cinch is this makes sure that if you have the same function defined in different packages or different modules, the Python will know which one you want. So this is kind of managing namespaces. So the only thing we need here is, let's say, I don't think pandas does, but let's say pandas had a cinch function as well. By saying NP cinch, it says pull the cinch function from the NumPy. So that's the reason why we have this NP here or this random here. Note, if I had just done this, right, then I would have to say NumPy, right? So the idea of having the as NP is just to have a shorter way to refer to that namespace. Okay, so here, like I say, if I import NumPy as NP, then I can call it NP random randan. And remember, when you're writing this code, there's a lot of, your IDE, the Colab here will help you quite a bit. So I have NP, and then it shows, okay, well, random, right? And then, so all of this rand_n right here, so I can choose that. And then keep in mind, when I say sort of it returns an array or things of that nature, doesn't have to make too much sense right now. We'll talk throughout the course about it. However, keep in mind, it tells you everything here. Returns, a shaped array of floating point samples. So everything will be defined for you, even an example, NP random, So keep in mind, when you're writing this, you'll get a lot of help from Colab here to tell you what it returns. One that we'll be using quite a bit, particularly over the next week, is we'll be creating data frames. These are your nice, right, we talked about these. These are your nice sort of Excel-like data structures. So we can say PD for pandas data frame and then pass this in and we get a data frame. One thing that might be useful, I don't think you'll use it very much, if at all. Most of the functions that you will use, you're going to see somewhere and say, okay, well, I'll use this data frame, or you'll see other code using it, so you'll use it. However, if you wanted to see all the functions, methods, attributes available in a particular namespace here, available by NumPy, we can say dir, and then we're going to get a very long list of what is available. Like I said, you can scroll down this list quite a bit. This list goes, right, this is quite a long list, but you can see, if we go here, I wonder if I can, maybe if I can Control F and look for our, so here's, well, that's, go for the next one. We can see there's the cinch function we used. Notably here, it will also have attributes. So what here, so you can look for shape here. Now what this tells us, again, we're going to talk about these quite a bit, is that I create an array with these numbers, and this tells me what the shape of the array is. So this has 2 rows, 3 columns, so we can get a lot of information. So all of that will be in here. Again, it's there if you want to take a look. However, I don't think you'll need it. Now, most of the Python packages that we're going to use are already installed in Colab. NumPy, Pandas, these are the big packages. I don't think we'll need like SciPy, but these packages are already there. However, there are some packages that we'll use that aren't already installed in Colab. So I looked around and I looked at this BankFind package, right? And it says, so this isn't installed, right? This isn't very widely used. So if we want to install it, right, we can use our so this is a command to the bash shell pip install BankFind, right? It'll go out, pull it from pip, and install it. So then we can import BankFind as BF, right? So there we go. So now we can refer to BankFind functionality as BF. Now here's the thing: if you are, what I can do here is insert a code block, and I can say BF, and I can start seeing what is available. Right, get failures, get history, get institution, get locations, get summary, and that's fine. What you probably want to do at this point is, if you've found BankFind, this is the Python package, PyPy. This is where we pulled that package from. So often what you're going to do is you're going to search for projects here. So if I want to search for projects here, I can say, okay, finance. This is for a course. You'll find a lot, so you can scroll down here and look through a lot of packages. And once you find, and that's how I found BankFind, right? So let's pull that back up. Once you find BankFind, we see the version 001, so this is new. It'll always link to the homepage, which is going to be very often GitHub. So we can open that, and I've opened that here. And what this is going to tell you is what's available, right? So we can, this is actually neat, we can return failed financial institutions, we can return a list of financial institutions. And so, when you're getting to know a package, it's very useful to go to the README on GitHub and start reading about it. Most packages will provide sample code, so you can just pull this and get it. And this is actually interesting. We'll try this in a second here. So we can go ahead and use that here. So we can go ahead, and I'm going to delete this cell, and we can use this. I'm going to try to get all institutions in Vermont, right? So I can run that, and I pulled the data into this variable called Vermont JSON, and then I've printed it out just to kind of take a look at what this is. And you don't have to be familiar with this yet, but this is data in JSON format, right? A lot of this, it's not important for you to really have a good grasp of. Again, when you're starting Python for financial analysis, you just want to start getting stuff done. And then a lot of the gaps in knowledge you can fill in later. So we know this is JSON, so that just means that if I want to, given the structure of this JSON, I can take a look, and a lot of this will be in the help documents, and say, okay, well, all of this is under a field called data. So I can just pull in that data field. Right now, I just have this JSON for the data, and then I can convert it into a data frame, right? I just have to call this PD JSON normalize, right? And then I'm going to have a data frame, and what this does is it drops the banks that has NA for I guess this name HCR. So it drops those, and that's what it does here. Again, right here, I'll explain all this later. But so we can go ahead and run this, and it's going to return a nice data frame of all the banks in Vermont, right? So what we're trying to see here is that much like, so if you're sitting there saying, I need all the banks in Utah, right? You don't need to write most of what you're going to do if you're coding Python for the next 5 years, let's say, is going to be in Python already. You just need to be able to find the right package, to look through the documentation and figure out how to use the package, and then that will be sufficient. Let's see here. Let's see if we can. So this should pull all banks in Vermont with ROEs greater than 25. All right, so it looks like that's not empty. There are some banks. And let's get a list of that here. All right, so a substantial number. I'd have to actually check that worked. 40 rows times 132. I didn't pay attention to how many there were beforehand, but let's see if this is working. Again, also when you're working with a new package, it's always good to make sure that these things are actually working. 40 rows, yeah, so that didn't. Either they all have ROEs greater than 25% or that didn't work. That's fine. That's a useful thing to know, is you always have to check your output and not necessarily trust it. Good. Anything else I want to say about here? Pulling failed banks, that would be interesting. I'm going to give that a shot, but I won't do that here. Now, finding Python packages. So there's one thing to keep in mind. If we were to, up until 2 months ago, I would have just done pip search finance, and then it would do the search for me and return the results here. However, now we have a runtime error. PyPi's API has been temporarily disabled due to unmanageable load. So I looked into this a little bit. Apparently, it looks like people have been doing a lot of queries on PyPi with the intention of making it unusable. So they're getting a lot of queries here, so they've shut it off. So we can't use this in my, I doubt that they will. It says temporarily disabled. I think this might be more like permanently disabled. So if you do need to find any package, I would just go to the website here. Again, the bash interface isn't available. I would just go to the website here and type, let's see if there's, that was a good package, but anything, FDIC, banks, so here. And like you say, Python this is the benefit of Python being a very popular language. There's going to be generally a lot of packages available. This I talked about a little bit. It's just a little bit of the distinction between import NumPy and from NumPy import something. Like I said, I wouldn't worry too much about this. This is something that you can get a better handle on later. Most of the time here in this course, we're just going to say something like import NumPy. So as a brief exercise, find a package that will provide cryptocurrency prices and try to import that package. So the idea here is you could just go to pypi.org, and if I haven't put a link in here, I should have a link to PyPi somewhere here, but I'll put a link to PyPi right here. And we do a link like link to PyPi, and I can put that link right in here. There we go. So find a package with cryptocurrency prices, P2, right? And I've obviously misspelled it, so cryptocurrency, and find one. We want to import currency prices. So there's going to be a lot of packages with respect to cryptocurrencies. You can see there's managed cryptocurrencies. There might be interfaces to certain wallets and so forth, but see one that you can actually pull in prices. And then if you find that, if you find a suitable package, again, you probably want to go to its GitHub, see the functionality it provides, look for an example, and then see if you can pull in prices. Ideally, it's great to pull in prices as a pandas data frame, but try to pull in prices any way that you can.